In year 0, we construct roads in some cities, that is in the treatment group, that is these black balls. The question is how the investment in the infrastructure affects the employment rate. Before the construction, the employment rate is 0.6, and 1 year after the construction, the employment rate is 0.74. Then you might think that the construction of roads increased the employment rate in 14%. There is a confound factor here, because the employment rate was already increasing before the construction of the road. The point is, if you explore only variation over time, you are going to overestimate the impact of the road construction. To estimate the true impact, you have to add a control group for the analysis. These gray balls are the control group. These cities didn't receive any investment to construct roads. Based on this line of the control group, we can construct a counterfactual. You can see that the counterfactual line is just a parallel shift of the control group. The Diff-in-Diff estimation is just this vertical line between B and E, that is 0.11. The name difference-in-difference means two differences. The first difference explored variation over time. The second difference is the variation between control and the treatment group. See that control and the treatment group in Diff-in-Diff, they are different. They start with different employment rates. They are different cities. They have different unobservable factors. Rather than comparing outcomes between the treatment and the comparison group after the intervention, the Diff-in-Diff method compares trends between the treatment and comparison group. That's why we need here the common trend assumption. Before the intervention, both treatment and control group, they have the same trends. In this chart, you only see the trends for the employment rate, but you assume that the trends are the same for all other observable and unobservable factors. Now, let's complicate the analysis. Let's suppose that in the year -1, there's a construction of the airport. Unless you have the airport construction in both treatment and control group, this will mess up all the analysis. And if you have the construction of the airport in the same time of the construction of the roads here in the treatment group, you cannot disentangle the effect of roads from the airport. You must understand that Diff-in-Diff is not experiment. It's better than make the comparison between after and before. Therefore, Diff-in-Diff is much better than the first difference. But just because we add a control group, it doesn't mean that we solve all the problems of the estimation. If you want to know more about Diff-in-Diff or how to implement this in Python, you can watch these videos.